they've had here in a long time. We're live at the house with the hole in the roof as the Philadelphia Eagles face the Dallas Cowboys. This time of the year, there are big games and then there are bigger games, and this is one of the biggest so far. You know, with me is John Madden as usual, and you know, John, there are rivalries in pro football where one team seems to have sort of a hex over another. And it exists here today. The Eagles sort of know how to beat the Cowboys. Now, my question to you is, how do the Cowboys get away from that?
Well, you know, I think the Cowboys have confidence now. I mean, football, again, is fun in Texas. You come here, the stadium is full, the people are yelling, screaming. I think the Cowboys have better players. They have more confidence. And even after they were beaten last time, 31-7, Jimmy Johnson said, I feel good that we can beat them next time. Jimmy Johnson said there are three areas in football. There's the offense, the defense, and the kicking game. He said any time you go into a game, you have to win two out of those three. He said, I feel real confident that we're going to win the kicking game and the defense.
You know, since that game, the Eagles have struggled just a bit. They beat Phoenix last week, but they didn't score a lot of points. What do they have to do to get back on track now?
Well, of course, you know, they have a lot of confidence in their defense. They had that great goal line stand last week against the Cardinals. 7 times the Cardinals were down there, 6 times inside the 1-yard line. They played tough defense. They couldn't get in there. So they come with a lot of confidence in their defense, and their defense is going to have to win the game for them.
So the Eagles will kick off. Back deep for the Cowboys. Kelvin Martin and Clayton Holmes. Holmes is number 47. It rained overnight, but now it's perfect. And the house is loud and it's full. Martin fields it deep in his own end zone. No return. They'll start from the 20. Corey Aikman 0-6 as a starting quarterback against Philadelphia. That's one he'd like not to see. 2-8. Newton, Stepnoski, Giesick, Williams, and Jay Novacek, the tight end in front of him. Behind him, Emmitt Smith and Darrell Johnston. And the wide receivers, Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper. 1st and 10 Cowboys.
I think we can expect the Cowboys to start off running today. I think that Jimmy Johnson figures that on offense, they have to have a conservative approach.
Irvin wide left, Harper right. Novacek was the new man. That's Emmitt Smith for 6 yards. 7 make it. Wes Hopkins was the first Eagle to make contact. The Eagle defense, Simmons and White the ends, Golick and Andy Harmon in the center. Thomas, Evans, and Joyner. An outstanding crew of linebackers. Booty at cornerback today with Eric Allen, Hopkins, and Rich Miano, the safety men. 2nd and 3. Flag on the play. Williams might have jumped, and that's something we might see a lot of, John.
Yeah, because he has to block.
Number 79 before the snap, 5 yards, 2nd down.
He has to block number 92, Reggie White. Reggie White will do that to you. Reggie White wasn't even lined up over Eric Williams. He was lined up over the tight end. So Eric Williams knows that he's not on me, but boom, I got to get out there. So he started, I think, moving out to his right a little before. Eric Williams is a second-year guy. He's a good player, and he's going to be a real good one.
That's a Pro Bowl name that you will remember. This is Novacek moving. Emmitt Smith left side. On 2nd down, got only a yard. Myron Evans and William Thomas converge.
Well, we were talking to Jimmy Johnson yesterday. He said the Cowboys are going to be conservative. They're going to run a lot, especially on 1st and 2nd down. He said that's the way they beat them a year ago when Steve Berline was a quarterback. He said then they felt good about it. They were really going to open up and do all this thing to the Eagles. Then they had turnovers. So he said he'd rather be conservative, have no turnovers on offense, than open things up and have a whole lot of old turnovers.
3rd and long, passing down. They have 3 wide receivers in the game. Aikman to throw it. Good protection. Aikman's going to take off. Will not get the 1st down, and Saxon McDallas will have the punt. Myron Evans forced Aikman out of the pocket.
I think that's the area when we see conservative. 3rd down, you don't want to force anything. The worst thing that you can do is have to punt, and that won't kill you.
That's what happened to them in Philadelphia. Singhema Back deep for Philadelphia as the Eagles appear not to be attempting to block the punt seriously, at least. Yeah, they're trying to set up a return. Saxon, not a good kick. This guy has been close. Knocked down by Clayton Holmes. 38-yard punt, 8-yard return. Randall Cunningham never lost to Dallas. His offensive line, Smith, Chad, Alexander, Floyd, Antone Davis is back and starting. Pat Beach is the tight end. Walker and Byers. We'll see how long Byers plays. Barnett and Williams, the wide receiver. Barnett, wide right. Cunningham to Walker. Herschel Walker. To about the 48 for a gain of 4, stopped by Norton. I guess there have been more controversial trades in the history of pro football, but none more so than the trade of Herschel Walker. Haley, Maryland, Casillas, and Tolbert start up front for Dallas. Norton, Jones, and Smith, the linebackers. Secondary, Holt and Brown, the corners. Washington and Everett, the D-back. There is one D-back. Byers in motion. Walker again. Hit by Tony Tolbert. No gain. Keith Byers a couple of weeks ago against Washington hurt his knee and also hurt his hand. That's the main concern right now. That's how it's protected. It's the bone below, back in the ham part of the hand, that really bothers him. Not so much carrying, not so much catching, but blocking is where it bothers him.
Yeah, he broke that hand in 2 places. And as you said, the area that he's worried most about today is blocking.
Cunningham out of the shotgun. Going to take off. No one does it better. And he reversed directions rather quickly. Norton and Brown.
I'll tell you, Larry Brown there, number 24, made him reverse directions. Larry Brown doesn't bring a big load. He's only about 180, 185 pounds. But did he zero in on Randall Cunningham? Once Cunningham was going to make that dive, boom! He hit him right between the 1 and the 2.
If he came with a big load, it might be serious.
I think that was as close to a big load as you can get from a 185-pound guy.
The Cowboys with a history of trying to block punts. This is Spiegels, hangs it high. And Kelvin Martin makes the catch, the fair catch at about the 21.
Yeah, Randall Cunningham is suffering a little, I think, from lack of confidence. And maybe not lack of confidence in himself, lack of confidence in the offense, what they're doing, the guys around him. And, you know, he's really been in a slump. And I think if he's going to get out of this slump, he's going to have some success early.
Well, he said last night when we talked to him, you know, I can do certain things and the other guys can do certain things. And the things they tell me that work for them don't necessarily work for me. Flags everywhere.
I think that's the same thing. That's Eric Williams again. He jumped offside.
Number 79,
Yep.
offense before the snap. 5 yards, first down.
Playing against Reggie White will tend to do that. There he is. He's the second guy in. The tight ends on this side, right there, he moved. He was the first guy in. He knew he had to go after Reggie, so he was going to get a jump on him.
Yeah, he's one of the few guys that will have a size advantage over Reggie White. Not necessarily strength advantage, but size. He's about 320.
Yeah, he's around 320, and Reggie will always play around 300, 305.
And that's Smith. Dragged down. Seth Joyner with the arm tackle, giving you an indication of how strong he is.
And a good block again by Eric Williams. That time he got to Reggie White, and he gave Emmitt Smith that corner to get around.
We welcome those of you who just watched the game between Tampa Bay and New Orleans here at Texas Stadium. Our score is Dallas nothing, Philadelphia nothing. Early in the first quarter, Michael Irvin starts to limp off the field. The Saints hung on to beat Tampa Bay by 2. 2nd and 8 as Irvin limps.
And Irvin was expecting a big game today, or wanting a big game. You know, he has those 4 touchdowns. It's funny. It's not funny to him, but they all came in September. He got 4 touchdowns in September, and he shot an over in October.
Elvin Martin is the man in motion. This is Aikman. Pass complete to Novacek, crossing. Stopped by Seth Joyner again. A gain of only 3. There's Michael Irvin over on the sideline. He really was upbeat yesterday.
Yeah, and real excited. I mean, he's one of those guys that loves the limelight. Loves to be in it. Knows when you get a big game, that's the time that big players should play. And he's going to get hurt blocking right here. You see him, he's right there in some kind of block, and Joyner comes and rolls up right on the back of his leg. He said yesterday he was going to have to be doing a lot of blocking, and that's why wide receivers hate to block, because they can't see what's coming from behind.
3rd and 5. Aikman, incomplete, intended for Martin, in his hands, in and out. And the Cowboys will have to punt again. Rich Miano on the coverage. Reggie White with a little bit of pressure on Aikman.
That'll make you get rid of the ball pretty quickly, won't it? When you get just a little heat from Reggie White will make you get rid of that thing.
Well, normally when you talk to Reggie, you don't see much outward emotion. But there was some there last night.
There was a lot there last night. I think he was as animated as I've ever seen him, or as ready for a game on a Saturday night as I've ever seen him.
Saxon. Not very good again by Michael. Flag on the play. Taken down by Dale Elistray. Bob McElwee is the referee.
They say it's Michael Irvin's ankle that has been twisted, and they're checking to see if he'll be back.
If he can come back, he will be back.
And I think the Cowboys need him just to have that
Illegal
threat
block
out
in the
there.
back, number 57 on the return team during the run back. 10 yards, first down.
57 is Cole Kowski. NFC standings, Dallas 6-1. The Eagles a game behind and tied with the Redskins, who are coming on. Giants not out of it, certainly in 3-4, and then Phoenix 1-6. But everybody you talk to says Phoenix is better than that.
Yeah, I think if you have to say, what's the best division in the NFL, I don't think that anyone would argue that this is the best division, or anyone argue that this isn't the best division.
And these are 2 of the leaders. Here's Cunningham back to throw it. Chased by Haley. He got it out to Walker. A gain of about 5. Robert Jones. Vincent Smith, the tackle on Walker.
And there's a guy who has really helped this Dallas Cowboy defense. They got that offense going, but if they needed anything, they needed some help on defense, and Charles Haley's the guy. I mean, they needed a dominant player. They needed a pressure guy. They needed a guy that you have to say, where is he lined up? And if you don't know where he's lined up and get a couple guys on him, he is always going to be there like he was on that last play.
Barnett down at the bottom of the picture. Walker goes the other way. Walker about a yard shy of that first down, picked up 3. Stopped by Jones and Washington.
Vincent Smith down there, number 57. He looks like he was trying to push him or punch him or do something when he was down. Maybe he was going for the ball. Vincent Smith was excited. He was trying down there. Something's happening down there at the end of that pile. I can hear, that they're going to go after Herschel.
Still excited.
They I think what they're trying to do is make them fumble and trying to get the ball out of there after it's down. Heck, that play's been over and done. They're still working on the ball.
Third and about a yard and a half. Call it 2. Cunningham will throw. Haley pushes the pile back, and Haley gets there first. The ball's loose. Leon left, put on the heat. We welcome those of you who just watched the game between Green Bay and Detroit here at Texas Stadium. No score yet. Penalty marker down on this last play.
Again, we were talking about Charles Haley and what he does for this defense.
Still third down.
He's the guy that started it.
No play.
Well, you heard Bob McElwee say no play, no play. Still no sack.
Yeah, then that means that the whistle had to blow.
Before the snap.
They just couldn't get him stopped. It'll bring up a third and about 7.
Yeah, the Eagles were offsides before the ball was snapped. They blew the whistle, but had they not, that shows a couple things. One, that Haley can put on pressure, and Cunningham has a problem with fumbles. He's fumbled 9 times this year.
Roy Green in the Eagle lineup. This time, Cunningham has time. His receiver, Calvin Williams, his intended receiver, I should say, slipped down. It rained all night. And so the turf is dry and it's wet in some spots.
Well, Richie Cote was saying last night, Randall Cunningham hasn't been in sync with these guys, and he isn't in sync here early. He said he wanted to get back, boom, get rid of that ball.
Jeff Beagles back to punt for the Eagles. Kelvin Martin back deep for Dallas. Still no score. They tried to block that one, so not setting up a return. This is Kelvin Martin. Away from 1, slipped by 2. And is hammered by Pat Beach.
Well, Pat Beach is the starting tight end now, but the way he got in position to hammer him, of course, he's the snapper. He's been a 10-year veteran.
Richie Kotite talking with his quarterback, Randall Cunningham. At final score, 23-21.
I don't know. Did they look like they were talking or arguing over there?
I gave them the benefit, maybe. It did look like an argument. The Jets over Miami. 16-7. Buffalo had a tough time. Pittsburgh beat Houston by a point. Back in the game, but this is Emmitt Smith, left side, no gain, or maybe a yard. Ball popped out, but the play was down. Clyde Simmons made the stop.
But again, we were talking earlier how Jimmy Johnson breaks every game down, like everyone does, the kicking game, and your offense against their defense and your defense against their offense. And he figures that he's going to win the one in the kicking game. He's going to get a big play in the kicking game. He figures that his defense is going to win the battle against the Eagle offense. Then the one that he doesn't think is going to win is this one right here, his offense against their defense. He said in that case, you just don't want him to lose it for you.
2nd and 9. Flag on the play. The Eagles jump. Pass it out to Johnston. Johnston has enough for a first down. We would welcome those of you who watched the Rams and the Atlanta Falcons.
Number 51 defense, penalty decline, first down.
Dallas first down. The penalty was against William Thomas, decline.
And this is the first down of the game. You think that the Eagles are going to be a dominant defense. They are, and the Cowboys again are an improved defense, and the Eagle offense is a struggling offense.
Numbers 1 and 2, the Eagles being number 1. First down. Dallas at their own 30. And Aikman to throw it. Irvin dropped it. John Booty on the coverage.
And this will give you time. Watch, here's Reggie White here. Now watch how they block him. They're going to have 2 guys on him. Williams hits him, boom, he gets underneath him. You bring the back in there. Here's Johnson right here. Here's Williams right here. You get him sandwiched. if you are going to have pass protection, you better double Reggie White. Keep him as close to the line of scrimmage as you can. That's a pretty good double. I mean, you can get a double sometimes where a back will knock a tackle off, too.
Johnson goes in motion this time on 2nd and 10. The draw play to Emmitt Smith. Hits by Reggie White. The ball's loose and the Eagles have it. That's the one thing they said they couldn't do is turn it over. Eric Allen made the recovery.
And one thing the Eagles do is they really get off their blocks well. Watch them. They hit in, boom, they get off blocks, they penetrate. There's big Reggie coming down there. He goes to hit him. Clyde Simmons, 96, hits him, boom, and strips that ball out of there.
And Eric Allen made the recovery. First down, Eagles at the Cowboys 36.
They were talking to Nate Newton last night, and he called Clyde Simmons the silent killer. He says, you hear all the thing about Reggie White. He says, but the guy that can really kill you is Clyde Simmons, and he started on that play.
First and 10, Philadelphia. Cunningham to throw. Picked off by Larry Brown with blockers in front. And Brown hit and knocked out of bounds by Cunningham. Williams was the intended receiver, but they turn it around in a hurry. 30-yard return by Brown.
Probably the most underrated player on this Dallas Cowboy team is Larry Brown. But you know one thing, when you're a pro quarterback, you got to zip that ball. And for some reason, Cunningham didn't zip it. He took something off. Larry Brown is playing underneath. Watch that ball. That doesn't have a lot of zip in it. Brown is just playing underneath in the zone, reads it, picks it off, and takes it back. And did someone put a block on Herschel Walker on that play? Tony Tolbert it was. He saw him, and he turned. You know, that's the thing. When you're rushing, you go from defense to offense. And did Tolbert put a hit on Herschel Walker?
This, of course, is Herschel's first visit back to Texas Stadium since that mammoth trade with the Vikings. Really, the keynote of the return of the Cowboys. And you wonder what he's thinking.
Well, yeah, he's probably thinking on that. That wasn't a welcome home handshake there by Tolbert. But, you know, the other thing is this is maturity by the Cowboys. You know, when something bad happens to you, instead of letting it happen, boom, go make something bad happen to the other guy.
Randall Cunningham just suffered that interception with Coach Height. The Eagles head coach over in conference with him. First and 10 Dallas at the Eagle 42.5-yard line. No score. Emmitt Smith barrels inside the 40, picked up 4, maybe 5. William Thomas stripped him.
You know, we were talking about the thing that the Cowboys are going to try and just run and run and run. Emmitt Smith has never had a 100-yard game against the Eagles, and of course those two things kind of go hand in hand. If he has 100 yards, they're probably going to win because that means they were able to run the ball, but they've never done that yet. And every Eagle will tell you the key to stopping the Cowboys is stopping Emmitt Smith.
Cowboys now go with 2 tight ends, Alfredo Roberts and Novacek, but they go in the other direction with Emmitt Smith. He looks to be too short of a first down, stopped by Byron Evans.
Yeah, they're running over there on that left side. One thing, you get away from Reggie White, you get in there behind Mark Tuinei and big old Nate Newton. You know, they moved Nate Newton from a guard to a tackle, and they're running back in here, right in here to this side. You know, just working out. You see Nate gets Clyde Simmons, big old 61. Boom, he gets him moved out. Tuinei gets his guy moved out, and they get a nice crease in there for Emmitt to run.
Third down, a couple. Delvin Martin, the man in motion, Bateman will throw it. Goes in a hurry to Michael Irvin. First down, Cowboys. Inside the Eagles 30, a gain of 8, stopped by Rich Piano and John Booty.
But we see they have this bunch type of thing. One guy goes deep. Michael Irvin just stops. And again, what they're trying to do is just get him against the zone about 7 yards, trying to be in a short guy, hoping he can get the ball, he'll break a tackle and make a big play.
1st and 10 at the Eagle 26. No score.
If you're thinking about scoring against the Eagles, I don't think this is a bad place to try from. Try from here. It's tougher when you get close to the goal line.
He's going to try. Novacek, the intended receiver, covered by Byron Evans. It's one thing about the Eagle defense. They feel those linebackers can stay with a tight end.
Yeah, that's the thing, that either Seth Joyner and Byron Evans, that they can stay with Novacek. So if they can stay with the tight end, then that means that you can take your secondary. You see Byron Evans there stay with Novacek, covering Novacek. If they can do that, then that will let your secondary double the wide receivers.
Harper to the right on 2nd and 10, Irvin left. And Smith stopped as he heads straight ahead. Mike Pitts. Both these teams do a lot of changing on defense, changing in personnel, particularly the defensive line.
Well, you know, you have a guy like Mike Pitts who's been injured, just been activated a couple weeks, and you want him in the game and you want him to play because he's a good player, very good against the run, good pass rusher, but you don't want to play him too much where he starts to get tired and then that injury thing comes back.
3rd and 8. 2.5 minutes left to play in the first quarter. No score as yet. Aikman in the pocket. Incomplete. Kelvin Martin was the intended receiver. Andy Harmon put the pressure on Aikman, and here comes their field goal.
That's a guy that's quietly having a pretty good year, is that Andy Harmon.
Yep.
He's playing well in there.
Lynn Elliott is the Dallas kicker. This will be from about 42 yards. Berline holding.
This is the part that Jimmy Johnson was saying he has to win. He has to win the kicking game.
To wait to win the kicking game. The Eagles will take over. 0-0. 2:15 left to play in the first quarter.
It's the weekend, and the Honda automobile plant in...
With John Madden, we're at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. 0-0 score. Randall Cunningham gives to Herschel Walker. And the Cowboy defense swarms on their ex-teammate, although most of them were not here when he was.
You know, it's funny, Pat. At some point, I think the Eagle defense is going to start getting mad at this Eagle offense if they don't keep them off the field a while. But they always seem to be bailing them out. With the Eagles, it always seems the offense will get in trouble, the defense will bail them out. In fact, they've given up 14 turnovers, the Eagle offense has. And out of that, the other team has only gotten 6 points.
That is remarkable. Here's Cunningham to Walker. Bounces away from one, but is thrown for a loss of 2. Russell Maryland was the first man to make the hit.
And the other guy there, here's Maryland right here. Here's Charles Haley here. One of the things when we talked to Rich Kotite last night, he said they wanted to run at Charles Haley. Because he's not a big, strong guy. He's not a guy you can take a double team, but he's not an easy guy to block. I mean, Charles Haley, you may get him, you may start to get him, you may start to block him, but I'll guarantee you one thing, Charles Haley doesn't stay blocked, and you're not going to make a living running at 94.
The only thing he might do is wear it down.
Yeah, that's the thing. You may wear him down.
Cowboys on a blitz, and Cunningham is down. Jim Jeffcoat. Oh, that's a name we've been mentioning for a long time.
They had the whole thing there. Thomas Everett, number 31, was on a blitz. Charles Haley was just there, and then Jeffcoat. Watch, Haley's coming from the outside. Watch, number 31, Everett is there. 77, Jeffcoat coming from the other side. Boom! Hey, that was a stunt. Jeffcoat usually plays a right defensive end. He came on a stunt from the left defensive end.
Martin at midfield. Around the corner. Kelvin Martin out of bounds at the Eagle 45. Knocked out by James Joseph. A 36-yard punt by Beagles. A return of 16.
They were talking about the special teams and the kicking game, and the Cowboys missed that field goal, but they sure got some good field position here.
0-0. 34 seconds first quarter. Nothing at Texas Stadium. 34 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Cowboys first and 10 at the Eagle 35. They had it down here a moment ago, missed the field goal. Now they're back. And John Madden said in very good shape. Aikman fakes. Aikman throws to Novacek, incomplete. Rich Miano hit Novacek.
And Troy Aikman made a heck of a move getting away from Reggie White. Reggie White's going to put some pressure on him. Watch 92. White, that's a bull rush. You just get a ball and you just get that thing going backwards. Look at Aikman made that bullfighter move there right around him in order to throw the ball to Novacek. That was a pretty good move. Novacek has a broken finger, and he's having trouble catching the ball. And he's usually a sure-handed guy, but it's the right hand. You see the ring finger on the right hand is broken, and he is having a tough time catching the ball.
Aikman back again. Wheels it outside to Emmett Smith. Byron Evans knocked him out of bounds. But Emmett got 9.
One thing about this Cowboy team with Troy Aikman really coming along as one of the top quarterbacks in this league. Then he has a lot of tools. He has Harper and a speed outside, Irvin, Novacek, Emmett Smith. I mean, they really have a lot of players that they can move the ball around to.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Dallas 0, Philadelphia 0. A yard and a half.
Yeah, the Eagles on this defense, they're playing a goal line defense here now, Pat. They only have 3 defensive backs in there. So they got the extra linebacker.
Hand off Emmett Smith. First down. Cowboys at the 21. Britt Hager made the stop. He was the extra linebacker.
That's right. They took out their corner, John Booty, put in an extra linebacker just to stop the run. You see, they're all in there to stop the run. They're all in there waiting to stop the run, and then the Cowboys ran right into it, but did a good job of blocking and still got the first down.
First and 10 at the 21. Darrell Johnson and Emmett Smith. The 2 backs, Novacek, the man in motion, Smith. Nothing there. Wes Hopkins up in a hurry. No gain.
Darrell Johnston is a good player. I mean, you don't see him a lot because of Emmett Smith. He doesn't get to carry the ball, but he does all those tough things. He's the guy we saw him doubling a Reggie White in pass protection. We saw him that time leading, a good blocker. In fact, I think had Emmett Smith followed Johnston on that play, he would have made more yards than a yard. And the left is blocking. Johnston does a lot of things quietly for this team.
Very good pass receiver. Good blocker, as you said. Anytime they took him out. Novacek was the man in motion. And complete. Novacek again.
Novacek has probably dropped more balls since he's broken that right finger than he has in his whole career. That time they took Johnson out, they put Novacek in the backfield. He was the tight end in the backfield. They put him back there, moved him, put him in motion out to the right, and brought him underneath on that short pass. And that's the second pass that he's dropped today. In fact, it's the third pass. Michael Irvin dropped a pass already.
And Novacek in the first game against the Eagles up at Veterans Stadium had a couple of drops that he would normally have caught. 3rd and 9. Aikman again retreats. Intended for Harper, incomplete. Booty and Miano back with Harper.
I'll tell you, you have to have confidence and you have to have a rifle arm when you throw that one. Troy Aikman threw that thing into double coverage and he zipped it in there. I mean, that thing, if you could put one of those guns they have on baseball on this thing, this one is over 100 miles an hour. I mean, that is a zip. I mean, that thing is zipped in there. There's no way it's going to be intercepted. In fact, it darn near knocked the defender down.
That might have hurt. From 38 yards this time. Elliott. No good. Overcompensation, maybe. That one missed right. And the score remains 0-0. Nothing the score. Here's how close Elliott came.
If you know, if you look at this, the goal line goes right down the hash mark. So he's on the left hash mark. They try and kick it out and then hook it in. That one, he just kicked it out and it didn't hook at all.
It's got to be inside the goalpost. This is Walker. And the Cowboys stringing out and herd him out of bounds.
As long as Herschel Walker can be kept running sideways, you can herd him out of bounds all day. That's always been the thing on Herschel Walker. Don't let him get in your secondary. Don't let him get his shoulder square. Keep him perpendicular to the line of scrimmage. And they kept him perpendicular, and if you keep him perpendicular, then you're going to herd him right on out of bounds down here in Texas.
That's the key to a lot of things.
Keep him perpendicular.
Yeah. Cunningham incomplete. Low throw for Barnett.
Last night we were talking to Richie Kotite. The first thing he said when he came in the room, he said, we have to get our offense in sync.
That was even without a question.
Yeah, and they haven't done it.
Final scores, all those. Atlanta beat the Rams by 2. The Jets upset Miami. Pittsburgh over Houston. Green Bay beat Detroit. New Orleans. They keep winning.
I tell you, talking about a silent killer, that's the New Orleans Saints.
Isn't that the truth?
They always win and no one ever talks about it.
Ball batted in the air, incomplete. As Cunningham again felt the pressure from Haley and Jeffcoat and Jimmy Jones.
You see Jimmy Jones coming up. Here comes Jeffcoat again from that left side. Jeffcoat used to play the right side. Haley's on the right side now. See Jeffcoat 77 down here in the bottom. He's going right through Antone Davis. Haley's up at the top. Jimmy Jones coming straight up the middle.
Jeff Beagle back to bunt. The Cowboys this time do try to set up a return. Kelvin Martin at his own 28. Hops out of bounds at about the 30. Brett Hager down to make the stop. A penalty marker on the play.
That's a new Cowboy punt return where they have Kelvin Martin back there and 2 other guys back there with him in case there's a short punt. They don't like the way Kelvin Martin comes up and fields short ones, so they put 8 men up and then 3 men back, 2 men on either side.
Number 26 during the run back, 10 yards, first down, timeout.
Penalty called against Kelvin Smith. 0-0 with 12:35 left. Dallas has been down in range. Elliott has missed 2 field goals. Emmitt Smith has 45 total yards. Look at the total yards overall. Dallas 72, Philadelphia 7. Dallas ball 1st and 10 at their own 21. 0-0. Michael Irvin in the slot to the left, and now he goes in motion to the right. Aikman to Smith. Ripped up. Jumped forward for a couple, but stopped by Byron Evans. Mike Golick.
You know, those guys really do a pretty good job in there. Again, you talk about Reggie White a lot and Clyde Simmons, but Mike Golick, number 90, and Andy Harmon, 91, are doing a pretty good job in that middle, along with Mike Pitt substituting in and out. Again, they try and keep a guy fresh. They don't have Jerome Brown there anymore with the real strength of that defense. But these guys are doing a good job in that middle, because that's where the Cowboys are trying to run.
That's Pitts back in there again. Here's Aikman to throw it. Drops it off to Calvin Martin. First down and Martin. Stripped up at the 40. Right now, let's send you back to New York for an NFL update.
All right, Pat, in Phoenix, the Cardinals have broken a scoreless tie. Chris Chandler to Randall Hill, 4 yards in the touchdown. And for the 49ers, Steve Bono has replaced quarterback Steve Young, who's left the game with the flu. 7-0 Phoenix. 3 minutes to play in the first half, Pat.
Here at Texas Stadium, score is 0-0. 11-20, 11-19 left to play in the first half. Dallas has pretty well controlled things, but no points. First down, Aikman throws. Calvin Martin again. Into Eagle territory. Stopped by Hopkins. Just barely.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. They bring in Calvin Martin, and he's taking the place of Jay Novacek in there. He's going in that position. You see right in there underneath against that zone defense where the tight end usually catches a lot of passes. Instead of having Novacek get in there, and he's had trouble dropping the ball, they put in Calvin Martin. Boom, he's a little change of pace, and they let him work that same area that the tight end or fullback would normally work.
First and 10 Cowboys at the Eagle 48. No score. Aikman is Smith with room this time. Emmett Smith dragged down by William Thomas. 4-yard gain. Looked like it could have been more.
Jim McMahon there is trying to pump up that offensive line because he knows that offense of the Eagles, if they're gonna stay in this game, that offense of the Eagles is going to have to start at least getting some first downs, at least taking some time off the clock, at least letting this defense rest, because this is a great defense, but you can't let it play the whole game for you.
If they do, no matter how good they are, sooner or later they'll crack. Emmett Smith. Not much. Miano up from the safety spot.
You see Reggie White on that play. They had success over on the right side. They ran at Reggie. Now they're going to try and run again at Reggie. And boom, he's going to come here and just stand up this whole thing. Watch Reggie there as they come. They start there. You see him take on Williams. Williams, 320 pounds. Reggie just gets underneath him. Boom, straightens him straight up, keeps him there in the backfield, and there's no place that Emmitt Smith is going to make a yard on that side.
Reggie doesn't wish to be blocked. You're not going to block it.
You aren't going to block it. He gave you a little tap in the pregame.
Still feeling it. Close to a first down. Novacek held on. Miano made the stop. They're going to measure.
Now they're right there where they can start the measure. They got one of the sticks right there. And you don't have to measure. You just kind of have to stretch it out and take a look at it. Well, don't move it. Oh, he's holding it down. You hold it down, I'll stretch
it. Measure it, and it's a first down. It was complicated, but it's a first down.
You just kind of look down at your feet, see the ball and the thing right there, and say first down. That last play, we're talking about Reggie White, he had moved over the center, and he played against Mark Stepnoski on that play. Aikman, again, didn't want that push up the middle. He got a pretty good block on him, and Aikman got rid of the ball and got the first down out there.
6 first downs for the Cowboys, none for the Eagles. Aikman fakes to Emmitt Smith. Incomplete. Intended for Harper. He tripped over Wes Hopkins.
I think the fans that they're trying to get a pass interference. Watch Alvin Harper come across. We're going to see Wes Hopkins, number 48. Again, does he hit him or touch him or anything before the ball's in the air? No.
Nope.
I mean, you can't call a penalty on that one.
They didn't.
They shouldn't.
They won't. 2nd and 10. Johnston in motion. Emmitt Smith finally finds some room and gets inside the 35. Clyde Simmons made the stop. Smith sneaked around for 5.
But they, all those running backs, they're the great running backs in the NFL today. The Thurman Thomas, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, Barry Foster. We were talking about earlier today when we were watching Barry Foster. They all kind of look the same. I mean, they all got that kind of short and real powerful body from the waist down. I mean, they have big, strong legs, hard to see, but are very powerful runners.
All about 5'10", 5'11". Not the huge backs that there used to be in pro football. Here's Aikman spinning out of pressure, chased by Reggie White, and run out of bounds by Seth Joyner. No gain by Aikman, and I think they're out of Elliott's range. No, they're not.
This is the thing. Elliott's going to come in for the 3rd one, but Aikman has some speed here.
Better have.
The Joyner was chasing him, but before that, Reggie White was chasing him, and he had to get his hat down.
This will be from about 52 yards. He's missed from 42. He's missed from 38. Perline holding. Play was stopped before it ever got started.
Offense. 5 yards.
Delay of game on the offense.
Yeah, that's the killer there, because at least they had the shot there to kick it. Now with the delay of game, of course, that's a 5-yard penalty, so they won't even try it now, so that makes them punt. I mean, we talked before the game that Jimmy Johnson said they were going to win the kicking game. They had to win the kicking game. In the first half thus far, they aren't winning any kicking game.
Well, that's 2 shots they missed outright. That one, if it had counted, was not good either. But it's all.
Probably better off punting anyway.
Yeah. Sikahema signals fair catch and makes it at about the 19-yard line. They spot it on the 20, and now they move it back to the 19. Still no score. First half, no score. Cowboys and the Eagles.
Reggie's starting to look like a football player now. I mean, I don't like this carpet and stuff here and the hole in the roof. We don't get any grass or mud or dirt, but at least you get some blood in your pants. Start to look at this is a football game.
Fake to Walker. Pass complete to Byers. Byers laying with a broken bone in his hand, stopped by Vincent Smith.
One thing I always liked about Keith Byers is whether he runs the ball as a runner or as a receiver, has a broken hand or whatever, he finishes off every run. In other words, you come to hit him, he's not going to just stand there or stay there and let you hit him. He is going to hit you. And you talk about an open field blocker. Keith Byers over the years has made some of the best open field blocks I've ever seen in my life.
He is a tough guy. On 2nd down, they give this to Walker. Close to a first. If it is, it'll be the first down for the Eagles of the day. Robert Jones, the middle linebacker.
When you have goals and stuff as an offense, or you're talking as a coach, when the score is 0-0, you don't talk in terms of, we got to hit some bombs, we got to get some scores. Sometimes, like a Rich Kotite now, you just want a first down. Let's just keep the ball. Let's just rest our defense for a while. Let's just get some first downs. Maybe we'll have to punt later, but let's just take some time off the clock.
There are some barriers you have to break, and that's one of them. Hand off Byers over the left side, 4 yards.
Yeah, and it seems like they figured out, let's give Byers the ball some, because Byers brings a little spirit. I mean, he brings a little load. I mean, he takes that ball in there, and whether there's something there or not, he's going to hit the hole. I mean, that's a different look. Herschel Walker will kind of give you the slide and glide and slash and hit it if it's there. Byers will hit it whether it's there or not.
2nd and 6, just under 5 minutes left to play in the first half. Nothing score. Cunningham to throw it. Again, the ball bounced. Maurice Johnson was the intended receiver. Incomplete.
Yeah, I think that's still part of Randall Cunningham's frustration, is not having Keith Jackson. You know, I thought that, you know, Keith Jackson and Keith Byers were kind of his security blankets. Those guys that he could tell them what to do. They'd always be underneath. He could always find them. Of course, Jackson's with Miami, and Byers has a broken hand. And I don't know that he feels that confidence in Pat Beach or Maurice Johnson, who he just threw to.
3rd and 6. Roy Green lined up in the slot. Sekahima was the man in motion. The Cowboys with some heat on and stop Herschel Walker. And do they stop him? No gain. Leon Lett was the first man there, and he's another who's really coming on.
Leon Lett's a big 300-pound tackle who can run. He looked like he tried to take Herschel Walker and just bury him right here in the middle of the stadium. I mean, there's tackles and there's takedowns and there's bringdowns and there's knockdowns. But I'll tell you, this is a pull and a drive and a slam, and I mean, everything came. His part started to come off.
That's all done without a rope. Martin signals fair catch, fakes it. The Cowboys will take over at their own 27. 38-yard punt. 4:01 left to play. No score. Texas Stadium, Philadelphia, Dallas. No score as yet. 4:01 left to play in the first half. Nothing. Dallas 1st and 10 at their own 27. They have been able to move the ball a little bit. Not very effective, and the Eagles have just barely been able to move it. Emmett Smith just gets a yard. Reggie White.
Yeah, they're trying to run a trap in there. You'll watch, they'll block down. Here's Reggie White right here, and they're going to block down and try and trap. You see, they bring him down. Here comes Nate Newton. He's trying to make a trap there, but Reggie White just took that hit, felt that pressure, and then boom, the minute you feel the pressure in your outside shoulder, you just dip your right side, and then you'll end up in a spin. And that's exactly what Reggie White did.
He spun right into it. 2nd and 8. Novacek on the move. Aikman retreats, gets it to Novacek. Novacek hangs on. I guess outside the 30, hit by Miano. Not enough for a first down, a gain of 3.
Yeah, we were talking to Troy Aikman yesterday. He was talking about offensively, they have to have a lot of patience. And I said, is that easy for you? And he goes, yeah, he said, it's easy for me on Saturday. And he said, it's usually easy for me early in the game. He said, where I have trouble being patient is in the second half, or if we get behind, then I just want to go and try and make something happen.
3rd and 4. Smith is the lone setback behind Aikman. Martin in motion. Aikman to throw. The Eagles blitz. Pass complete to Martin. That is enough for a Dallas first down. A pickup of 11.
The Eagles, the first thing you have to do is pass protect. The second thing you have to do is be able to pick up the blitz. And that's what they do here. You see 56, Byron Evans is coming. Boom. Right there. Emmett Smith picks him off, and that's the block. Of course, that and all the offensive linemen block it. But Emmett Smith, you know, we know he can run with the ball, but if they're going to blitz, you have to be able to do what he just did, and that makes you get the reception.
That's the 2-minute warning. They'll be unable to get another play off. 2 minutes left, and Aikman looks a little disgusted as he looks up now and sees they didn't get a play off before the 2-minute warning.
A look
To go in the first half at Texas Stadium. Troy Aikman's been protected rather well.
Well, that's the thing. We just saw Emmett Smith making a big block with the blitz there. He's only been sacked one time and hurried once. Hasn't been knocked down. No batted balls, no interceptions. I think both of these teams' offenses right now are playing not to lose rather than to win.
First down, Dallas at their own 44-yard line. 2 minutes left in the first half.
You have to admit that the Cowboys offense has been playing a lot better than the Eagle offense. I mean, they've had 3 field goal opportunities at least.
Aikman to throw. Gets it to Dallas Johnson. Still on his feet, still fighting. Another Dallas first down at the Eagle 41. Wes Hopkins finally knocked him down after he picked up 15 yards.
Yeah, watch him here. He's going to start right there. Rich Miano's number 38. When you get a guy like Johnson in the open field, you better wrap your arms. Miano doesn't wrap his arms, and Johnston runs right over him. He's like a bowling ball or a cannonball when he gets open in that open field.
About 240 pounds. Again, Aikman. Caught by Harper. Because of the added effort by the Eagle defense. Timeout, Dallas.
Well, you know what they're doing? They're booing, but I'll tell you whose fault that was. That was the official's fault. There was no whistle. And the Eagles were just hitting until the whistle blew, and that was a late whistle.
Nothing. Next Sunday with regional action here on CBS. Most of you will see these same Cowboys battle the Detroit Lions. John and I'll be there for that one. A big game at 4 o'clock Eastern features the Redskins against Seattle. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. It all starts at 12:30 Eastern with the NFL Today, the last word before kickoff. That's next Sunday on CBS. Right now on CBS, no score. Cowboys at the Eagle 32. They need a yard for a first down. Got the first down, but somebody moved. Golick might have jumped on the Eagle defense.
Yeah, if the Cowboys get a first down here, I think against the Eagles, this is a good area to take a shot at the end zone. They're a little tired. They've been out there a long time. You got them run down a little.
Number 90, defense, 5 yards. Second down.
Yeah, if you look at the time of possession, the Cowboys have had the ball 19 minutes, 26 seconds. The Eagles only 9 minutes, 31 seconds. There's Bud Carson, the defensive coordinator of the Eagles. Here for a long time, and now I think there's a time to take a shot at him.
Aikman back to throw it. Johnson again. Inside the 25. He's stopped by Byron Evans. And William Thomas. Timeout, Dallas, with 56 seconds left to play in the first half. And still, nobody on the scoreboard.
Ross Perot on voting.
Madden, no score. As we wind down the second quarter, coming up, Greg and Terry with the scores and highlights from around the league. There have been some big surprises. That all comes up on the NFL Today at the half. Second down. And about 7 to go for Dallas. At the Eagle just inside the Eagle 25. Here's a Eagles blitz. Pass complete to Martin. Clock is going to continue to run.
Cowboys only have one timeout, and I'm sure they want to save that, Pat, for the field goal. They don't want to use the timeout here. They could just throw the ball down to stop the clock.
35 seconds left, and that's what Aikman does.
See, when you get down and you only have one timeout, you want to save that for your field goal. So now it's second down. I still think they ought to take shots to the goal line. They haven't taken any shots to the end zone yet, and I think that the closer you get, the tougher it is. You know, I think back on the 25 would have been an ideal spot to try it, but here is a pretty good spot.
34 seconds left to play in the first half. Down to 12 seconds. And Aikman will get this off in plenty of time. Aikman batted up in the air, out of the end zone, incomplete, intended for Novacek, broken up by Hopkins.
Hey, and Nate Newton is down on the play. I guess he's going to be okay. Nate has a bad knee, and he's just playing on that knee. In fact, they were talking about maybe doing surgery on it. They decided just to let it go until the season's over, and he got thrown right at the end. He's a left guard here. What, 61, Nate Newton blocking his guy, pushes him right on beyond, and then someone rolled up the back of his leg.
So Aikman back to throw again with 29 seconds left. Retreats, grounds it. In the direction of him, Smith.
I think Reggie White made him ground that pass. As Aikman was going to throw it, Reggie White, 92, made a heck of a pass rush, came around with his right arm and knocked that ball out of there. Watch Reggie White. He's right here. This guy is the most dominating defensive lineman in football. When he wants to rush like this, he's so big, so strong, you're not going to block him. He grabs him with his left hand and brings the right arm around and chops it out of there.
The field goal try is 35 yards away. And finally, they can use the scoreboard. Dallas. 33-yard field goal by Elliott. And they lead 3-0.
I was worried about that. We're going to go to Terry and Greg at halftime for scores and highlights. We didn't have any score. At least we give them a score.
We had some highlights.
Yeah. But they had enough shots. I mean, the Eagles' defense is a great defense. But doggone, you just can't take that many shots. I mean, I think them holding the Cowboys to 3-0 for one half is an amazing feat by this Eagle team.
Still 21 seconds left to play in the first half. The Eagles have all of their timeouts remaining.
That's Richie Kotite talking to Dick Wood there, one of his offensive coaches. And I think he looks like he's begging, is there anything we can do? Do you have any ideas? How can we get things in sync? What are they doing? What can we do? We better talk at halftime, and they have to get something going offensively.
Seidner, Sikahema, back deep. Elliott's kickoff's a good one. Almost goes out of the end zone, and they stay in there. The Eagles take over with 21 seconds. 21 seconds left to play in the first half. The Eagles have all of their timeouts remaining.
I would think with this and the way the Eagles have been going in this first half that they would probably just run the clock out here. I mean, I don't think you have to take an 80-yard shot here and have anything bad happen just before halftime.
They have one first down, 22 yards in total offense. 21 seconds again remaining in the first half. Cunningham gives to Walker. Walker, left side, stopped by James Washington. He got 8, but that'll be the last play of the first half. And as you said, John, the way that offense, the Eagle offense particularly, has been going, just don't take any chances. Nothing. That's the end of the first. I beg your pardon. That's the end of the first half with the score 3-0 now. Dallas leading Philadelphia. Stadium. Low scoring, almost a no scoring first half. Randall Cunningham with Seth Joyner. The Eagles have 2 yards passing and 28 yards running in the first half. Cunningham 3 out of 8 for 13, the 1 interception.
And Randall Cunningham is in a funk, and it looks like Seth Joyner, who is a high energy guy, is trying to give him some energy, give him some confidence, give him something, saying, this is your game, just relax, let it go and play. He's only completed passes to his running backs. He hasn't completed passes to his tight end or a wide receiver. He has a Fred Barnett out there. Somewhere you think they're going to have to get the ball to those guys.
As we begin the third quarter, Dallas leading 3-0. Again, they will not bring this one out. Seidner. Sikahema told him to stay in there.
Yeah, if you look at these stats, you would think that the score should be like 20 or 20-30 or 25-30 to nothing. The Eagles only have 1 first down, 28 yards rushing, 2 yards passing. The turnovers is the same. Look at that time of possession.
And check the quarterback. Jim McMahon behind that mask. Takes over at quarterback for Randall Cunningham.
I had the feeling the Eagles had to do something.
McMahon, a long count, pitch to Walker. Walker with some room, left side, doesn't get much. 5 yards for Herschel Walker, stopped by Norton.
You know, you could tell right just before halftime when we saw Richie Kotag talking to one of his offensive coaches, Dick Wood, there, that's probably what they were talking about. If you want to make a change, you want to know it going in before you go in, so you have the whole halftime to get the other guy ready. I'm sure they don't want to lose Randall Cunningham and his confidence, but they want to get the momentum change in this thing and get something going offensively.
2nd and 5. The Eagles at their own 25. McMahon changing the play. Down to 5 seconds on the play clock. McMahon to throw it. Incomplete. Good coverage. Intended Calvin Williams, Thomas Everett up to make the hit, and he will do that.
And you know, somewhere here that Jim McMahon is a guy who likes to go maximum protection, keep the guys in, just get a couple guys out, stay in the pocket, and throw the ball. And somewhere, I'm sure they talked about at halftime, that he's going to try and get the ball to his outside receivers. I'll bet somewhere he's going to try and throw deep to Fred Barnett, but he needs better field position than this.
3rd and 5. Crowd on its feet and loud. Barnett to the right. McMahon out of the shotgun. But Fred Barnett complete, first down Philadelphia. First pass all day complete to a wide receiver.
And you know, when you have a guy like Fred Barnett, you have to get the ball to him, because if you don't get it to him, especially early, some of these guys will lose interest in the game. I know Jerry Rice is that way. You got to get the ball to him, get him involved in the game, get him competing. When you don't get a guy the ball in the first half, then you better come out and get it to him right away in the second half. Jim McMahon just did that.
1st and 10, Philadelphia at the 40. Byers and Walker behind McMahon. Walker. He drags some Cowboy tacklers. Tony Tolbert and Robert Jones dragged Walker down. 8-yard gain for Walker.
Again, after you complete a couple passes and then they think you're going to pass, then you get in pass rushes. Now you got that defense loosened up a little. Especially, that's why you like to get the ball to a wide receiver. Kind of spread it out, get them back off where they're not ganging up and you're running your short stuff.
This is the first action for Jim McMahon since preseason. But he's a guy that wherever he goes commands respect. McMahon going deep. Holt. And Calvin Williams came back to make the catch. A gain of 37. Holt back there with him. A flag on the play.
Oh, and that's going to be against Calvin Williams because he just picked the ball up. The flag wasn't out there, or at least the first one. The second one, he just picked the ball up and he threw it at Isaac Holt. Again, sometimes you just have to get your ball deep. We talked about spread them out, throw that thing up there deep. Here it's a one-on-one. Calvin Williams wins the jump ball. See, now he taunted there. He shouldn't have done that. Holt throws it back. He shouldn't have done that. Williams throws it back.
A lot of shouldn't have done it.
Well, so I think they called them both for shouldn't have done it, so it was offsetting penalties. They called Holt for throwing it at Williams for throwing it at Holt, but Williams started it by putting it in Holt's net.
Williams got 2 throws to Holt's 1. No penalty. They offset. Williams wide right, Barnett to the left. Byers in motion, McMahon the quarterback. Jim McMahon do that.
I don't think you can say that about McMahon. He's not supposed to do it. The minute you say to Jim McMahon, hey, you're not supposed to do it, I'll guarantee you one thing, he's going to do it.
Whatever it is.
Who's running with the ball. But you give him a crack, any quarterback, and he's going to find it. One thing about Jim McMahon, he's not going to go down. I mean, he wasn't. He's still trying to make moves, and he doesn't do one of those slide jobs in there. He goes into anything he does head first.
First and goal at the 5. The first serious offense by Philadelphia all day. Dallas leading 3-0. Byers in motion, handoff Walker. Walker to about the 3.5. Maybe he got a yard, maybe 2. Vincent Smith, Ken Norton.
This is a tough thing for Cunningham because Randall Cunningham is a star, and you think of yourself as a star and you want to be a leader, and just, things have been going bad. He's been in a slump the last few weeks, and you just feel that he's trying to take the whole pressure of the offense of the Eagles on his shoulder. And maybe it's just a little change of pace like this. This may be just what he needed.
Nothing physically wrong with him, but McMahon has put together the best Eagle drive of the day. Second and goal. Walker. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
I think that's what Richie Kotite was talking about just before the half. We got to change this thing. We got to change the momentum. How do we do it? Let's bring in McMahon. And the feeling it was just going to be a matter of time until they did make that change today.
Initially a 2-yard run for Walker.
But the big thing he did is he came and he loosened up that defense, and he opened it up by throwing and hitting his wide receivers.
Ruzick for the extra point. The Eagles take the lead. 7-3. 10:24 left to play in the third quarter. The touchdown again.
Good lead block there by Byers. Herschel Walker got everything going straight ahead. Look at Jim McMahon. I mean, he's talking to Randall Cunningham there, and he's laughing about what he did. And I think he's laughing about that one that he threw to Calvin Williams, where he just threw it up there.
Well, like you said, sometimes you have to do that. Just get something deep.
Yeah, you always use that thing. Go out and make something happen.
Line drive kickoff, bounces away from Martin, and he downs it in the end zone. Dallas in the first half, and where they started, their own 20, their own 22. They had to punt both times, then they fumbled, then they missed field goals twice. They finally scored those 3 points. That's the way it was at the end of the half. Now it's 7-3 Philadelphia.
Jim McMahon talking there. His favorite guys are always the offensive linemen. I mean, after they make a touchdown, he always goes up, congratulates them with a headbutt. And, he meets with them. He always rooms with an offensive lineman like Ron Heller, and he knows what you need to play in this league.
Aikman will throw on first down and go deep. Irvin across the middle. Stopped by Booty. 21-yard pickup. Golick put a hit on Aikman.
See, one thing about Michael Irvin, he is so big that he can get by a press. One thing the Eagles wanted to do was press or get up tight on those receivers. Michael Irvin can get by it. That's a pass protection here. Eric Williams doing a pretty good job just getting that right hand up on Reggie White.
First down, Cowboys at their own 41. Eagles leading 7-3. And again, we'll throw it on first down. He has Novacek. Out of bounds at the Eagle 35 by Rich Viano. Right now for an NFL update, let's send you again to our New York.
All right, Pat, strange doings in Phoenix. 49ers quarterback Steve Bono to Brent Jones over the middle. He fumbles. Eric Hill picks it up, and it's just taken away from him right there by Mike Sherrard, who goes 39 yards with the extra point. Phoenix's lead is now 17-7 in the third quarter, Pat.
at Texas Stadium in Philadelphia. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 7-0. Philadelphia leading. Emmitt Smith in the middle. A yard, not much more.
It's funny, Pat. Maybe it took Jim McMahon just to open this game up. The first half was very conservative, just 3 points by the Cowboys. Then McMahon comes in, boom, he's throwing bombs. Guys are fighting, taunting, doing the whole thing, getting it in. And then the Cowboys get the ball, then Aikman starts opening it up. So maybe we just had a little sparring thing in that first half, and we're going to start opening things up here in the second half.
McMahon can light a spark. The Eagles come after Aikman, and the pass is batted down. Clyde Simmons, who's 6'6", knocked it away.
I think one thing, when you have the Cowboy team, though, you don't want to forget Emmitt Smith. Here they use Emmitt Smith, again, to go to play pass and to block. As you said, Clyde Simmons got a little push up the middle, boom, got his right hand up and knocked the ball down.
3rd and 9 coming up for Dallas. They're at the Eagle 33.5. Three wide receivers. Kelvin Martin in the slot. He makes the reception for a Dallas first down. Fine catch.
I tell you, you come into this game and you say Michael Irvin is a wide receiver or Harper, and then running back you got Emmitt Smith. But the guy so far that's made all the plays is Kelvin Martin. They bring him in like the 3rd wide receiver, and again, he's catching a lot of those passes in the area where normally the tight end would catch the ball. He's already had 5 catches today.
Right now, he gets a rest. Darrell Johnston splits wide to the left. Martin's in the slot, and he goes in motion. Aikman back to throw it again. Kelvin Martin. Touchdown.
A week ago, he started in on John Booty. Booty stopped, and then he stopped and pivoted to the outside. He made the move after he had the ball.
Extra point's good. And again, the Cowboys lead by 3. 7:33 left to play in the 3rd quarter. A very conservative, quiet first half has turned into a raucous arena.
If you have to say who's been the star for the Dallas Cowboys so far, it's this guy right here, Kelvin Martin, 6 catches.
And that touchdown. Kelvin Martin's touchdown with the Cowboys back on top. Elliott's kickoff is again deep. Seidner will stay in the end zone, and they'll start at the 20. A little extracurricular activity, nothing serious. 10-7. Next Sunday, John and I will be in Detroit for the Lions and the Cowboys. Barry Sanders and the Lions destroyed Dallas last January in the playoffs as Sanders scored on this remarkable run. Next Sunday, the Cowboys look for revenge. The Lions and the Cowboys next Sunday on CBS. Right now, it's the Eagles and the Cowboys on CBS. Calvin Williams, the man in motion. Handoff is to Walker. Walker got a couple. Vincent Smith and Jimmy Jones.
Yeah, I think that's why you have a backup like a Jim McMahon, and you pay him so much money. And it's like the same reason the 49ers have a backup like Steve. And that when you need him, you don't need him to mop up. You don't need him, when everything's over, you win a lead. You need them when you got a big game and there's an injury or things aren't going right. Things didn't go right in the first half of the Eagles. They needed a change, and this is why McMahon gets paid big money.
You don't need him to mop up, but you might need him to bail out, and that's what they're looking for right here. He's back to throw. Dumps it out to Byers. Cut down by Isaac Holt. A fine tackle by Holt.
That was a heck of a tackle by Holt, because when they were talking about Keith Byers earlier, how he finishes off runs, and usually when he catches a ball in the open field, he's going to make you pay for it. I think Holt knew that. Now watch where Holt tackles him, right around the ankles. There's no one in the world that has power in their ankles. So if you're going to tackle a powerful guy, get their ankles.
Don't forget that Byers can't use his off arm. The ball in one arm, the other hand he can't use because of that broken bone. Two broken bones, actually, on the same finger. McMahon to throw it. Incomplete, and no flag. Barnett, the intended receiver, covered by Brown.
Well, he had pressure that time, but at least he's bringing the receivers into the game. He spread this Cowboy defense out. They're getting a good pass rush, and they're getting the pressure. That's the guy you expected from right there, Charles Haley. Jim McMahon has changed this game around, not only for the Eagles, but for the Cowboys, too.
And for the crowd. The crowd is loud.
I think everyone woke up. Hey, get up.
Eagles line drive kickoff. Bounces away for Kelvin Martin all the way down to the 10 and inside. So the Cowboys will take over all the way back at their own 8.
Well, look at you. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, and this CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Dallas Cowboys, and the National Football League is prohibited.
You didn't recognize that voice?
I'll tell you, I think the key to that voice is the way he said without.
Now Wayne Gretzky. This is Emmitt Smith. I don't know, John. Things are sort of slipping away from us.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, when guys are out of work, Wayne Gretzky, the great one, is not playing. He's injured and doesn't have anything to do. So just in life, the more things you can do.
I guess. Boy,
There's a Colt there who did one of them.
Boy, that was good. Second down and about 6. Aikman to throw. Just picked off by Byron Evans. And Evans gives the Eagles a ball deep in Dallas territory.
That's what Jimmy Johnson was worried about yesterday, the turnovers. He said, when we lost 31-7, he said, that's how we got killed by the turnovers. Last night talking to Richie Kotite, he said, you know, when you talk about middle linebackers in this league, the guy who's playing the best is number 56, Byron Evans. And he's one of those guys, a lot like Kurt Gouveia, that does all the right, he's always in the right position, a very smart football player that always knows where he's supposed to be and what to do when he gets there.
First and 10, Philadelphia. The ball about the Dallas 12. Cowboys leading by 3. McMahon gives to Walker. Walker perhaps a yard before he's stopped by the middle linebacker Robert Jones. Maybe he didn't even get a yard.
Hey, you're talking about Byron Evans there making a big play, probably the biggest play defensively of this game so far for the Eagles. And you remember last week that play that he made on the goal line. We talk about football and being in the pits and on the goal line. Byron Evans made one of the biggest hits I've ever seen on a goal line last week against the Cardinals.
He's just got those instincts.
I know, and that's the thing. That's like a middle linebacker. You can't teach a lot of that stuff.
Jim McMahon, the quarterback. Walker and Byers behind him. McMahon a long count. Haley hit him just as he let it go. Byers made the reception. Byers rattled to the ground at about the 8. Larry Brown and Thomas Everett, but he got 6.
You know, and Byers almost didn't get out of the backfield. If you watch it right up there in the top, you see he gets knocked off right there, trips, stumbles, and gains his composure and gets the ball. And talking about composure, how did McMahon get through that one? But watch Byers. He slips and falls down there. McMahon gets hit just as he throws it. That's a heck of a play that came very close to not happening.
Haley hit McMahon just as he let it go. Byers flanked to the left. They need 4 for a first down. McMahon chased out of the pocket. He was limping a bit early. Incomplete, intended for Walker, and no penalty marker down. Haley again with the pressure on McMahon.
There's a penalty down there in the right. I think there's a fight. And again, it was Isaac Holt and Calvin Williams. Remember earlier, they were taunting. The play was over, and it was down in the right-hand corner of the end zone.
Way away from the ball.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 30 defense. After the play.
Oh, that has to be a stupid penalty. The
Yes,
play was
sir.
over. They had stopped him on 3rd down. Here it is right here. It'll be down in this corner, in the lower right-hand corner. You look at it right there, right in the corners where it starts. And again, that's something that's been going on all the time. Calvin Williams and Isaac Holt. Again, it looked like Calvin Williams started it.
The penalty against Isaac Holt moved the ball down to the 4 and an automatic first down, more importantly.
You know, Calvin Williams, I think, did start that one again, but Isaac Holt has been around long enough. That knows, you know, when someone does it and it's 3rd down and it's incomplete and the play's over, you just turn at the guy and you laugh at him and you walk away. You get your hat. Take the helmet off and walk off the field and laugh at him.
Especially in a game like this tight and as big as it is to both teams.
Calvin Williams had a big play in Taunton. He's had 2 taunts. The Cowboy defense looked like they were the ones that confused, jumped all over. McMahon took the timeout.
Dallas 10-7 over the Eagles. The Eagles came roaring out. They began the 3rd quarter, and now they're back after the interception by Byron Evans. 1st and goal. This is Walker. Touchdown, Philadelphia, and now the scramble. The official signaled touchdown, and now the one on the other side says the ball was down. He's pointing down.
One guy is saying the ball's there. He tells the referee. One signaled touchdown, and one said, pointed to the ground, that the ball was down. What he's saying is, it's where the ball is when your knee goes down. Now, there's no knee down yet. That's a touchdown. They brought it out. Once the ball crosses the plane, then if it comes back or not, it doesn't make any difference.
The official on the other side did signal touchdown on the lower side of your picture.
You see the ball right there. It's a touchdown. It crossed the plane.
2nd and goal. Walker again hit in the backfield. Spun away from Tony Casillas. No gain. Denson Smith finally wrapped him up. He got away from Casillas and didn't lose any yardage.
Yeah, last week we remember that goal line stand of the Eagles. Now the Eagles are on the other end of it. Here's the previous play now, Ben. This isn't the last play. This is again, it's where the ball is when the knee goes down. The knee's not down yet. The ball breaks the plane. So what happens after that doesn't count. Once it breaks the plane, it's a touchdown. That should have been a touchdown.
Right now it's 3rd and goal at the 1. McMahon. Jump shot to the end zone, incomplete. And the Cowboys hang on, intended for Walker.
And the guy that has to feel the best right now is Isaac Holt. Because they had him stopped on 3rd down, and he got in a fight down there with either Calvin Williams or Fred Barnett.
Maybe both.
I know, but he got in the fight down there, and then that brought the penalty. So Again, they're right back where they started from.
An 18-yard field goal set up for Roger Ruzek. Shorter than an extra point. Eagles holding. And we have another tie at 10. The first half stayed at 0-0 until the Cowboys finally got a field goal. And now it's all even again.
And Isaac Holt is a happy guy because it was a third down play where he got the unnecessary roughness penalty. There was a fight after the play was over. He knows, I mean, he's been around 8 years. He knows that he should have gotten off there. But when that happens, if you're a defensive back in this league, the worst thing you can have is a memory. When a play is over, you have to forget it. And Jimmy Johnson is talking to him there about it.
Is that what you would have done as a coach? Say, hey, think of the situation.
In fact, that was what Jimmy Johnson, you see, he said, point right to his head, use your head. I mean, it's easy to say when you're not in the heat of battle, but if you're a competitor and some guy, whether it was Fred Barnett or Calvin Williams, is down there and they're throwing punches and taunting and so on, it's hard to walk. I mean, that's the right thing to do. You have to walk away, but it's hard to do in the heat of the battle. You just throw something, and then the next thing you know, the guy throws a flag on you.
Sometimes that's hard to do in any situation. Just walk away.
Yeah, that's but that's what, you know, you think an 8-year veteran, that's what Jimmy Johnson, I'm sure, was telling him, that, you know, we'd stopped him, the play was over, just be happy and just give him your back to read.
Martin and Holmes back deep for Ruzek's kickoff, and it's a good one. But he'll bring it out. Kelvin Martin. He will wish he didn't bring it out. Britt Hager down to make the stop. These are all finals. They all took place earlier today. Green Bay beat Detroit. The Jets over Miami. New Orleans continues to roll. 49ers losing at the moment to Phoenix. And the Saints would move into a tie for first. Very quietly.
You know, I think the Cowboys did dodge a bullet down there because I think Herschel Walker crossed the plane, and I think that should have been a touchdown.
First and 10, Cowboys from their own 11. Chased by Hopkins. Emmitt Smith inside the Eagles 40. 51 yards for Emmitt Smith. Byron Evans blitz, and they took advantage of it.
Watch, Evans blitzes, they start towards Evans, and then everything was going to that left. Emmitt Smith starts to the left. Boom, he saw that big cutback lane there. He took it. The only guy that can catch him is Eric Allen coming from the other side of the field.
Emmitt Smith has 18 carries and 104 yards.
Emmitt Smith made that play because it was a good defensive call. They were blitzing right into the run. Emmitt Smith started there and took a cutback away from the blitz.
Is Emmitt tired? No. To the right side. A gain of 5. Rich Miano up to make the stop. Maybe he is tired.
Some running backs get better when they're tired. You know, I think that you know, the defense get a little tired, they get a little tired, and they just instincts take over. If you talk to most running backs, they will usually do better after they carry the ball 10 or 12 times than they will the first 10 or 12 times they carry the ball.
He's had it 19 times. Second and 6, 10-10 tie, the Eagles and Cowboys. They're going to throw it. Novacek had it and dropped it again. You don't think it's wrong to say drop it again, do you?
No, it's right to say. I mean, he's a guy, you know, we talked about this, the broken finger, and then you have to adjust because he's a guy who's always caught the ball with his hand. Then you have the broken finger, and now he's trying to adjust, and he's trying to catch the ball with his body or against his body. And what the ball's doing is getting too close, hitting his shoulder pad, and just bouncing out.
3rd and 6. at the Eagle 33. Here's Aikman. Gets it to Martin. And they fling him around and backward. Wes Hopkins does. Down to the 30. A gain of 3.
I think the Cowboys thought they had to be able to run today. Emmitt Smith had to be able to run. The Eagles thought they had to stop Emmitt Smith. And now he has over 100 yards.
Here comes Elliott for his 4th field goal try of the day. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Dallas 10, Philadelphia 10. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. At Texas Stadium, the Eagles and the Cowboys. An NFC East rivalry as perhaps unmatched anywhere else in professional football. You look at how the teams have performed in the 4th quarter. Elliott from 48 yards this time. That's going to get there. And the Cowboys have the lead back.
Of course, that one you have to credit the great goal line defense and the big run by Emmitt Smith.
13-10 Dallas.
By Energizer brand batteries.
At the beginning of the 3rd quarter, Jim McMahon replaced Cunningham at the Eagle quarterback spot. The Eagles have 121 yards, Dallas 309. Emmitt Smith 19 carries, 108 yards. That seems to be sort of a barometer for a running back to get over 100 yards against this Eagle defense. Elliott's kickoff is deep and good. Seidler downs it deep in the end zone.
You know, and the funny thing about that is the Eagles played it pretty well. You're going to see Johnston here. He's going to lead. Byron Evans is going to hit it here. Emmitt Smith starts here. Then watch the hole that he comes back here. Byron Evans reads 48 Johnston. He goes in there and takes on the lead. Emmitt Smith leaves the lead and goes the other way, and there's no one there till Eric Allen comes all the way across.
1st and 10, the Eagles at their own 20. Opening seconds of the final quarter, and the Cowboys leading 13-10. Jim McMahon, the Philadelphia quarterback. Screen pass to Byers. Good room. Byers cut down by Everett. An Eagle first down, a gain of 18.
Yeah, that's one thing about Keith Byers is he can have a bad knee. He got his knee hurt against the Redskins. He has a broken hand in 2 places, but he's one of those guys you just have to like on your side. I mean, he's a competitor. He knows this is a big game. He knows he has broken hands, casts, stuff holding things, but there's no way you're going to keep him out of this action.
Didn't play last week at all.
One good thing, he's left-handed, and his right hand is broken.
Byers again. Chase taken out of bounds. Everett again with Jeffcoat. A gain of a yard. And now McMahon has got to put it up.
I'll tell you, Jeffcoat is in there, and Charles Haley is out. I don't know if Haley is out. In fact, Jeffcoat is just waving for someone to come in, but I don't know. In fact, here comes Haley as we speak. But I didn't know if Haley was out just for a rest or if there was something wrong with Haley. But I think on a 2nd and long and 3rd and long, you want Charles Haley in there
Somewhere.
getting after that passer.
He can do it. 2nd and long. McMahon back to throw it. Haley. McMahon got it to Byers. A gain of a couple of yards. Robert Jones kept Byers down.
You know, watch Haley here. What he does is he's going to take an inside move, but he takes about 3 guys with him, and he makes a pile right in front of the quarterback. Now, he doesn't have a lot of sacks this year, but what? 1, 2, 3 guys blocking him, and he's still in there raising havoc. That's what Charles Haley gives this Cowboy defense.
Talk about a guy that comes with a full load.
And comes with a motor running at 110 miles an hour, too.
Every play. Third down. They need 7 for a first. McMahon out of the shotgun. Haley again. Pressure incomplete. Alvin Williams, the intended receiver, covered by Gant.
I'll tell you one thing, the Eagles haven't had success on third down, or the Cowboys have played great third down defense. Look at it right here. Third down conversions. The Eagles are only 1 for 10.
Two of the best defenses, if not the two best defenses in football in this game. This will be Kelvin Martin. He is taken down by Hager. And the Cowboys will take over at about their own 21. 40-yard punt, 2-yard return.
Taste what barley does for beer. And by HP LaserJet printers. If it isn't a LaserJet, it's only a laser printer.
Dallas leading Philadelphia by 3, 13-10 with 12:29 left to play. Cowboys ball at their own 22. Gets to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith gets close to first down yardage. Stopped finally by Booty.
You know that old stat about time of possession, and they say it doesn't mean anything? It means a lot when your defense gets tired, and I think now we're starting to see it. And we had that first half time of possession where the Eagles defense, this group was out on the field the whole first half. Now they've been out there darn near the whole first game. I mean, the whole game. And they're starting to get worn down, and now is when they start getting the big runs against them.
And this is when a running back like Emmitt Smith starts to really wear you down.
And that's what happened, and you know, the biggest part of that was in the first half, and they just had so many shots at that defense that I think they got worn down. They're a little slower now. They're not quick like they were in the first half.
Fakes to Smith this time. Has to struggle. Has to come out of the pocket. Aikman. Another first down, Cowboys. 12 yards for Troy Aikman.
Yeah, one thing about Aikman, ever since he came into this league, he always had a good arm, a strong arm, could zip the ball, but he's gotten so much poise now. I mean, he's leaning where he's starting to look like Joe Montana out there, where I'm not saying he is Joe Montana, but where he's starting to make things look easy. You know, it's not like everything is a struggle. Although he still has that big old chin strap on there because every year he gets hit somewhere up under the chin and splits it open.
Surprising, John, how fast he is.
Oh yeah, he can run. I mean, he's not known as a runner or a scrambler, but he has good speed.
This is Emmitt Smith in the backfield, breaks away from one tackler and now heads down the sideline. Close to another Dallas first down. They had him and lost him.
Yeah, I think once you wear a defense down, and they worn this Eagles defense down, I think this happens. You see the Cowboys are getting off on the ball well. They're not wrapping up in their tackles. They're just a step slower, so they have to start reaching. Early in the first half, boom, you could run through stuff. Now you start getting there, and you start reaching and grabbing and not hitting that same way you did earlier.
Emmitt Smith did get his first down.
I tell you, when Emmitt Smith ran off that field and you saw the sweat all over his body, he looked like what you call a workhorse. That was a picture running out of bounds of a workhorse.
Well, he's going to get some more work. Smith to the 36. A gain of 6.
There's two frustrated quarterbacks. One, Cunningham, because he couldn't get anything going at all in the first half and was replaced by McMahon, who has to be frustrated now because they can't get the ball back.
2nd and 4. Has to be frustrated about the inability to get it in when they had that break on the interception by Evans. They only got 3.
Yeah, and then one time it looked like Herschel Walker was in there, and then they got the Isaac Holt penalty, and they got 3 more tries and still couldn't do it.
Smith again. Smith's first out of nothing.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about earlier, where some running backs just tend to get stronger, to get more energy as they play, and Emmitt Smith is doing that. But I'll tell you who else is doing it, his offensive line. His offensive line in the first half didn't really have control of this game. They didn't have control in the third quarter. The Dallas Cowboy offensive line has taken control in this fourth quarter.
Smith again. Close to another Dallas first down.
And there again is a picture of a workhorse, man. Their jersey's coming out. There's sweat going down both legs. This guy needs a break. But there we talk about the offensive line and the guys that are doing a job. There they are right there.
Why is it that the defensive line gets tired, but the offensive line doesn't?
I don't know, because they don't have to chase anyone. They know who they're going to block. They stay in a shorter area. But I'll tell you, one tired guy was Emmitt Smith. Did you see? I'd never seen a guy sweat like that in a long time outdoors.
This is Darryl Johnston. Flag on the play. Reggie White made the stop. Here comes Smith back.
Well, they aren't going to let him out for long. With a 13-10 lead, they don't feel confident at all when they're playing the Philadelphia Eagles. They need more first downs that will end up in touchdowns, and they need Emmitt Smith.
Offside, number 96, defense, 5 yards, first down.
Simmons offside. 8:49 left to play. Dallas 13, Philadelphia 10.
You're always talking this game about the pass and the passing game, but this is why you need a running game. You need a running game to get first downs. You need a running game to get time off the clock. You need a running game to wear down the defense.
And now again, the Eagles with only 3 defensive backs and 4 linebackers. Cowboys with 2 tight ends. Johnston. Pitts was the first man to hit him.
I'll tell you, I'm sure that Norv Turner sees that up here, and this is an ideal time to play pass. I mean, the Eagles know with a 13-10 point lead, they're trying to keep them to a field goal down here. They only have 3 defensive backs in there. This is an ideal time to fake the run and throw a pass. Although it looks like the Eagles are coming back in. They know that. They just brought John Booty, their cornerback, in, so now they have 4 defensive backs.
And the Cowboys put in the 2 wide receivers.
That's the chess game.
Second down. Here's Aikman. There was a blitz. This is Johnston. Touchdown. Yards out.
He doesn't make a lot of plays, but this one is a big one. Watch Rich Miano, number 38, as he comes to tackle again. He's not wrapping his arm. He can't get to his arms because Johnston gave him that left stiff arm. Then he did that dive in the end zone, but he was already in there. Not a lot of plays, but that was a big, big one.
Elliott's extra point is good. And it's Dallas 20. The Eagles 10 with 7:39 left. John and I traveled to the Silverdome for the Cowboys and the Lions in a rematch of last year's playoff game. It was a magical year for Eric Kramer and the Lions last season, and in the playoffs, they annihilated the Cowboys. The Silverdome crowd got to celebrate Detroit's first postseason appearance since 1983. The Lions have struggled this year, and next week, Dallas looks for revenge. The Lions and the Cowboys next Sunday on CBS.
That was Emmitt Smith a year ago there, but Emmitt Smith now is a happy, tired guy. I mean, he has emptied his tank.
Again, the kickoff sails into the end zone.
I mean, that's what a running back looks like after he's gained 100 yards against the Philadelphia Eagle defense.
Well, he told us yesterday all the soreness was gone. There has been some contact in this game.
Yeah, I think that that's Wes Hopkins, the hard-hitting free safety of the Eagles, and getting stuff. That stats and what Charles Haley has added to this team. You can't just do it. He's going to come right here. This is just a speed rush. Just boom, he comes right around Smith to tackle him. See him up there on top. That's just speed. Just runs right around him. McMahon didn't have a chance.
2nd and 18. McMahon to throw, chased by Haley again, gets it out to Sikkema. After a pickup of 11 yards, Norton and Gant. The Eagles hurry up.
Well, the Eagles know that they need 2 scores here, being down by 10 points. And under 7 minutes left, they can't think in terms of just 1 score.
3rd and 7. McMahon, incomplete. Intended for Sikkema, incomplete. They'll have to punt.
Now, of course, the Eagles haven't had any success today on 3rd down, but a lot of that starts on 1st and 2nd down. If you don't gain anything on 1st and 2nd, then you get a lot of 3rd downs and you get a lot of 3rd and long.
How about what Nate Newton said to us yesterday when I asked him what was wrong with his knee? He said, well, you know, a lot of weight, a lot of football, and a couple of car wrecks. I've had a good life.
He's had a good life. That's the way Nate Newton thinks. He's always a refreshing and popular guy to talk to.
Martin fielded the punt at the 20. 56-yard punt by Fiegels. 6.5 minutes left to play. Dallas by 10.
It was funny when Jimmy Johnson was talking about the battles they have to win. Their defense had to win the battle against the Eagle offense. They probably did. The kicking game, I don't know. That could be close, but I'll tell you the battle he didn't expect to win, but he did, was his offense against the Eagle defense in the second half and being able to run with Emmitt Smith.
That was a battle of endurance as much as anything else. They just wore him down.
Yeah, and a lot of guts on Emmitt Smith. I mean,
boy.
I didn't have many doubts about it. I didn't have any doubts about it before, but I sure as heck don't now. There is one tough running back.
Eggman gives to Smith. William Thomas made the stop on Emmitt Smith. He fires Randall Cunningham.
So Cunningham, you know, it happens to players in baseball, and you know they call it a slump, and it happens to players in football. You just get into where you're in a slump, and Randall Cunningham is in a slump.
2nd down, about 9.5. Cowboys at their own 21, just outside the 20 make it. Troy Aikman has gone all the way. Cunningham was replaced by McMahon. Novacek in motion. Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith outside the 25 to the 26 for a gain of 6. Tripped by Golick. 3rd and 4 it'll bring up.
I tell you, they aren't going to take out Emmitt Smith, and yeah, I'm sure they're thinking, well, you got a 10-point lead. Why don't you take him out? Well, you don't need to rest the guy now, although they are taking him out. But this is against the Philadelphia Eagles, and Emmitt Smith is having a career day. When you start off and your name is E. Smith, and you end up and you're just Smith, you've had a tough day.
You lost the E for effort or excellence.
Excellent.
Pass incomplete in the direction of Irvin, but there was a flag on the play. Clyde Simmons rushed Aikman against the Eagles, and that'll be the 1st down. Clyde Simmons also is the man offside. Rich Kotite says, take it easy, guys.
Well, it looked like he wanted a timeout. He would have been farther out on the field if he had not had that rope tied to him.
He was saying last night, hey, this is a big game, but we still got a lot of games to go.
And of course, and they felt confident. I mean, the Eagles have beaten the Cowboys 9 out of the last 10 games. come in. He was upset because they beat him last time 31-7, and the Cowboys were saying that they felt good about the game. He said, how can you feel good going off the field? You just got beat 31-7. He was still mad about that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way coaches think.
Less than 5 minutes now. First down, Dallas. It's Emmitt Smith. Still on his feet. Emmitt Smith stopped by William Thomas after a gain of 3 or 4. Jim McMahon still very intense about the situation. Timeout, Philadelphia. They have one left. The Jets over Miami. That, I suppose, the surprise of the day. Game was produced by Bob Stinner and directed by Sandy Grossman. Coordinating producer of the NFL Today is Eric Mann. The NFL Today was directed by Duke Struck, and the senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin. The senior producer here today has been Emmitt Smith and his offensive line.
Hey, you know, if he were a gas tank, he would be running. You know how the gas tank, sometimes when you get on E, a light comes on? Emmitt Smith's light would be on right now.
Well, here he is again. And he might have just run out of gas.
I think, what's that old saying? You can't get blood out of a rock or a turnip or something like that?
That's good enough.
You know what a turnip? When's the last time anyone's eaten a turnip? Anyway, you can't get something out of a turnip, but they're sure trying to get it out of Emmitt Smith. There is a tired running back. There is a warrior. There is a heck of a football player. He doesn't know whether he's coming or going. He doesn't know that. That thing started out as an elbow pad, I think. Look at it.
Maybe a knee pad.
Yeah, he started out, he had an E on his jersey and had a big old pad on his right elbow. His jersey was tucked in, his uniform was dry.
By the way, I had some turnips not too long ago.
I haven't had a turnip. I don't know where the heck turnips are.
They're underground.
Yeah, the other thing is rutabaga. I mean, I could go for a good old turnip and rutabaga dinner.
Either one I'd prefer to a rock, I guess.
But anyway, they've gotten it out of the rutabagas tonight.
Right. Third and 7. Aikman gives again to Smith. Ball was loose, but he was down. He got 4 yards, 4 tired yards.
Yeah, I would think now is the time. It's probably anticlimactic, but now's probably the time to get Emmitt Smith out of the game, because I mean he's getting very, very close to an area where you could get hurt.
And they're assisting him right now to the correct bench. Mike Saxon back to punt for Dallas. Sakahima back deep for the Eagles. They say he's been close to breaking something. He came close again, but out of bounds. Time to rest, Emmitt.
And he's just hoping that it doesn't come too quick. I mean, that he doesn't have to get back out there too fast. Now, again, the Eagles, they have to play very quick football, because they have to think in terms of 2 touchdowns. They have to play fast break football. Emmitt Smith doesn't want that fast break to be successful, but he doesn't want it to be over too quickly either.
Leon Lett takes Russell Maryland's place. First and 10, the Eagles. Ball at their own 45. 20-10 Dallas. 3:52 left to play. McMahon out of the shotgun. Deep to Calvin Williams. First down at the Dallas 38. James Washington made the hit, a gain of 17.
And the Eagles, of course, are going with no huddle because they need those 2 scores.
But they have no timeouts left. McMahon in a hurry. Going deep. Incomplete. Intended for Williams. Brown. Good coverage.
Jim McMahon. You know that he's a competitor. I mean, he's gonna fight you all the way until there's no time left. He knows he needs 2 scores, so he's trying to get one quick. Roy Green, you see number 81 in here, just activated for today's game. I don't know if he can run anymore, but at one time he was a great deep threat.
He really was. He could do everything. McMahon to throw. Complete to Roy Green. Everett made the stop. Just over 3 minutes now left to play. Randall Cunningham was replaced after the half by Jim McMahon. McMahon took the Eagles right down the field. McMahon to throw it. Incomplete. McMahon took a hit. Sikahema, the intended receiver. Leon Lett, big 300 pounds on top of McMahon.
Yeah, again, Charles Haley helps that. You know, Haley gets the thing from the outside. He makes the quarterback have to step in, and then you get a big Leon Lett. I think that Charles Haley has helped this defense generally, but specifically, he has helped Leon Lett. Leon Lett is going to be a good pass rusher. I mean, he's so big and strong. He's from Emporia State. And like he said, you know, someone said, what do you think when you're from a little school? He said, when I'm playing a game, I don't think of where I'm from.
2nd and 10. McMahon. Case again, and McMahon on the scramble. Inside the 15, slides to the 13. And back up in a hurry and ready to go.
Charles Haley gave the pressure, but he didn't have any help. See, 94, they're just getting back. He was the pressure, but he was the only guy.
McMahon downs it and stops the clock. The Eagles out of timeout. 2:33 left.
Now, the Eagles have to think again. Remember, just a couple weeks ago, like the Redskin game, they have to think in terms of a score, an onside kick, a recovery, and another score. I think if it gets to 4th down before they get to an end zone, I think they have to think of a field goal. Because you need, 10 points with 3 and a 7, or 7 and a 3 to tie. You would like 2 sevens, obviously.
But you'd settle for 10.
So I think if they get to a 4th down, I think they're going to kick the field goal, then try the onside kick.
I think so. I think you're right. 2nd down and 10. McMahon retreats again. Pass is picked off by Isaac Holt. Holt cut down at about the 17, but he got his revenge. Calvin Williams was the intended receiver.
Calvin Williams and Isaac Holt have been going at it all day. Calvin Williams, Fred Barnett, Isaac Holt. Isaac Holt, when it's all over today, is going to be able to laugh. In fact, I think Isaac Holt, when he started the game, I think he had one of those shields on. Now he gets his interception, he doesn't. What's this? He just steps in, makes that interception, and for all intent and purposes, that could finish the game.
He went from being a goat to now a big hero. It was Isaac Holt who got involved in that fracas that gave the Eagles 1st and goal. They couldn't get in. They got a field goal after his little misunderstanding with Calvin Williams, and now he gets the interception.
Yeah, he's really been a pretty good player for this Dallas Cowboy team. He's one of the guys that, people talk about the Herschel Walker trade and the draft choices, but Isaac Holt was one of the guys that they got for Herschel Walker from Minnesota.
England carried the ball back to Smith, who didn't look like he wanted it.
Yeah, I think they're at a point now that Smith really shouldn't be in there. I mean, I think that he may be at a point where he's completely tired. He may be delirious, and they probably ought to get him out of there.
Jerry Jones, along with Jimmy Johnson, who turned this franchise totally around. Back to honor. 2 minutes left. It's the CBS Sunday night movie, Her Final Fury. Betty Broderick, the last chapter, the drama of the San Diego socialite murderers. All tonight on CBS. A lot of things happening.
Well, one thing that's not happening, Jimmy Johnson isn't going to take Emmitt Smith out of this game. They're going to kneel down, but he's still going to keep him in there.
I wonder who's going to help him to the locker room.
I don't know. He can't even get his chin strap off. He doesn't even have enough chance to play. He's finally saying, hey, I got to get out of here.
And there he goes.
I don't know if they're acknowledging him yet. He tried to walk off before the timeout. They're finally sending someone in now. What a day. What a player. He's below empty right now.
30 rushes, 163 yards.
He's so tired, he can't even be happy.
Well, that's a great thing about that. About this game, about what a guy who's in really good shape, as he obviously is, it'll come back.
And that's the best kind of tired to be. Successful tired, winning tired, gaining over 100 yards tired, being the leading rusher in the National Football League tired. That's good tired. He'll feel better, but it'll be about Wednesday or Thursday, I'll guarantee you.
He said it's usually Monday. This week will be Wednesday or Thursday, as you said.
He says Monday you get up sometimes and you feel some stuff and you wonder, when did that happen?
Yeah.
You don't even remember getting hit or hurt there.
Tomorrow might be one of those days.
And Tuesday might be one of those days. And Wednesday could be one of those days.
30 seconds left. Timeout, Dallas. Now they have 2 left.
Yeah, and they could be thinking here of taking a safety.
Could be.
But I think they could do that. That's probably what he's talking to Johnston about there. Special teams coach, the head coach.
Joe Abasano.
And I'm sure they're probably going to take the safety. This is one that is a dangerous play sometimes if you take a safety, in that you don't want your guy to fumble when he takes the safety, because then it could be a touchdown.
Saxon back in the end zone. Let's see if he takes the safety. Then, of course, they get the free kick from the 20, if he takes it.
I would think taking it would be a good play in this situation.
Boom it away. Hema at midfield. And the Cowboys cover well. 38-yard punt, 10-yard return. Kenneth Gant and Benson Smith down.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Gant is celebrating, and the official comes over and pats him on the back, so that was good.
No.
Never seen that. The guy's celebrating, the official agrees with him.
And then penalizes him.
Yeah. You're right. Now we could be watching the best team in the National Football League. As they play right now, you'll say, who is the best team? And it could very well be these Dallas Cowboys.
The best record, certainly. San Francisco lost. New Orleans sneaking up on people.
They've already beaten the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
They're beating the Eagles here today.
Here's McMahon. Gets rid of it to Byers. One-handed catch. That ought to be enough. Kenneth Gant made the stop. Clock running. The counting begins. Dallas over Philadelphia. 20-10. So for John Madden, this is Pat Summerall saying so long from Texas Stadium, with final score is 20-10 Dallas. Coming up next, 60 minutes, except on the West Coast and Mountain Time Zones. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.